Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Ask Mathis. I'm your host, Reggie Mathis, and rocking with me is my brother Wildman Teddy T, aka Baron Theo Mound Builder.
We are in the house, ladies and gentlemen, ready.
Yes, indeed, man. And, y'all know what it is, man. When y'all see the lights, camera, action, it's none other than Captain Newkirk. What it do, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm in the building. How you doing today, brother?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored, man. Y'all know what it is. So, man, I hate to start off be the bearer of bad news, but in Florida, man, we had inmate Craig Ridley, bro. Craig Ridley suffered a serious injury in a confrontation with officers at a Florida prison. Rather than get him proper treatment, guards mocked and then ignored him, and then a month later, turned up dead, bruh. Dead, bruh. So apparently, this brother Ridley, 62 years old, was tackled by Department of Correction officers, and his food was just piling up, and they was mocking him, playing with him, not knowing that brother couldn't move because, he was paralyzed. He was paralyzed, and man, he was telling them, "My neck is broke. My neck is broke." Nobody got charged, man. Nobody got charged, man. That's what happens, man.
It's a criminal. He has no rights. It's just a piece of paper that they throw away.
Yeah, so instead of calling for a backboard, officers at the scene of his injury forced Ridley into a wheelchair. He dropped forward awkwardly, crying out in pain, the video shows. A prison nurse disregarded his complaints in a brief exam. "You ain't paralyzed." Man.
It was a sister, wasn't it?
I mean, that's what it sounds. You ain't paralyzed. Officers then put Ridley in a confinement cell, positioning him on a toilet where, unable to balance, he fell onto the hard floor, again face first, leaving a pool of blood that horrified other inmates. Once more, prison medical staff said, "He's fine."
Ain't nothing wrong with him.
They thought he was faking?
He just leaking.
Over the next 5 days, Ridley's blockmates, many of whom could see his cell, realized he couldn't move and asked staff to give him medical attention. But officers and nurses walked by and did nothing. Sometimes dozens of times a day, prison security footage showed. Finally, on September 12, 2017, a correctional officer acknowledged something was grievously wrong, and Ridley was taken to a hospital in Jacksonville. He died a month later, October 12th, 5 years ago on Wednesday, intubated and unable to communicate. There was a 383-page investigative report by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and they seem to have a long history of bearing abuses, refusing to communicate with family members of incarcerated people, and delaying public record requests. This was inhumane death caused by an abysmal lack of medical treatment. That's what Diane Ridley, his sister, said. And bruh, she's a lawyer, man, from New York. Wow. Who fought for years to obtain records about her brother and seek answers. It was torture. No one was charged in Ridley's slow death. State and federal prosecutors decided that correction officers had relied on the advice of doctors, despite an exhaustive investigation by FDLE that turned up repeated evidence of abuse and medical neglect. Now, after suffering through the strain of the pandemic, Florida's beleaguered prison system is stuck in a worsening crisis that could produce more causes like Ridley's. Oh, man, bro, this is just, we went through this, man, when the other inmate was, basically burned to death, scalded to death, man, basically told to take a shower, thrown in the showers, man, with scalding waters, man. That's, people really get missing, bruh. People really get missing, in this prison system, man. So, hopefully this man's family and loved ones or whoever's left, will recover, from this, man. It's just messed up, bro. It's just messed up.
Now, speaking on that, have you had a lot of personal experiences from some of your clients that's been,
Well,
victims
I
of
don't
things?
have too many clients who are in prison
Mm-hmm.
over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Just appreciate that. But I remember this on two occasions. I remember I had this one little kid, man, who was direct file because, and he was like, I don't even think he was 5 feet tall, bruh. And his mom, like, they were from like Honduras or Nicaragua or something like that. But his mom, man, it haunts me because, you know, he had to go to prison. He had to go to adult prison because what they were accused of, it was some kids who burglarized the home, and bruh, when people came, shot at law enforcement. So he didn't have to go and do like the crazy time, but they were not coming off of doing some time for that. And I just remember his mother contacting me similar to this when it says that they are notorious for not communicating with family and stuff like that. And she was just like, he's having a hard time. They bothering him, and I keep calling up, and I'm speaking to the counselor, and they said, they're gonna call me, and they're not calling. Can I help? Can I try to get in and do something? So there have been on occasion where I've been contacted by family saying that that their son is missing or their child is being mistreated or handled, man. And it's tough, man. Like, beyond just prison life in and of itself, which is tough. But I remember somebody telling me about like correctional officers with like a noose tattoo with a black baby, on the noose, like forcing them to listen to like country music, just really torturing the folks in there, bruh. And you have like, fight clubs and, like they really, really, you got some sadistic correctional officers, man. Like, you straight up, man. But this is the Ask Mathis Show. We're here on Strong Arm Radio, 786-801-0033. Y'all want to give us a call, man. And so, speaking of his prison life, man, of course, T.I.'s young son, King, I think that's what you got pulled up. Is that the King?
It says tube steaks, 22, Barnes and Noble.
Oh no, that's a different. That's a funny one. You can play that, but I want to talk about this thing going on. King
Charles White.
Yes, Charles White. He's a blogger, influencer, comedian, I think, and he's just he calls himself a shock jock. Remember how Howard Stern got involved? You just come out and just say anything.
I was a shock jock.
And that's what Buddy is. So, Charles White, he comes out there and he's basically, he commented on King, which is T.I.'s son, King Harris, in which we all saw him grow up. And he was, out of all the kids, we've spoken about it on this show, he was the most spoiled, so to speak, or the most entitled, the one who seemed to have it all because, he was there with both his parents in a huge mansion and had what he wanted. And Buddy is highly intelligent. I think it was you, Teddy, that was saying you had some stuff to do with him, and Buddy knew like everything it was about a firearm.
He knew every gun. Like I don't even know the names of guns. And he knew every gun that they had. They were shooting a video, and every gun that they bought in, these were fake guns. But he said, "Oh, that's this, that's that." Like he named at least 13, 14 different kind of guns. He was 9 years old at the time.
Right. So now, I guess he's trying to come of age, and as he's trying to come of age, he's been accused of being soft and whatnot. So I guess now he feels like he needs to get his resume up and needs to go to jail. So he's just got his first stint, in law enforcement, and he put it on tape, talking about getting his property back. And it was some driving offenses and some other little stuff going on, but, he seems to be relishing in it. And so Charles White comes with, what he does. He comes in there and says, oh, you say you going to kill me or you going to hurt me, you going to beat me up? I'm 50-something years old. I don't fight with kids. You know what I'm saying? You come over here. He's like, you come over here, you going to die. You going to die.
Sent it to the police.
Right.
I tagged the
right. So
Atlanta police.
You sitting here threatening me, so, hey, I didn't tag the district attorney and the police, all of that. And he's calling T.I. an informant, saying, with all that gun charges and all that stuff, and you ended up, coming out in those PSAs that T.I. was doing. But T.I. was apparently in his feelings, bruh. T.I. was in his feelings. So he comes out yesterday giving a video basically saying all the philanthropy, all the contributions that I made, the fact that, my son is being threatened and whatever, somebody's threatening to do harm to my son and nobody's coming out. I'm just like, bruh, really? like really? Like, are you
That's
not?
Where you at.
Like, your son is out here. So, Teddy, if T.I.'s son said, and when I see Teddy T is on site, and you was like, man, I'm not going to be fighting with no young kids. I'm not going to be fighting with no young kids. Would you expect, the father to come back and say, Teddy and all this, come see me and all? I mean, it's like, bro, come on, T.I. Like,
but the fact that it's T.I., to me, is no choice. He going to be down with his son regardless, and the fact that you...
And you know that. But that's something, just leave it alone. Just leave it alone, because y'all starting to get in too much mess. Like, you live by the internet, you die by the internet. So you talking about, friends or former friends, and you got reality shows and you got all this stuff. So this is how you remain relevant. This is what you're doing. So don't be appalled when somebody comes in and what are you supposed to do? Like, you see his son, you see his son doing some whack stuff
T.I. has a
where
point.
it's like somebody need to take his son in the back and just beat him with a belt. Like,
I feel you.
He would be mad at you for saying that.
right now he
Matt to say that.
Right.
No,
it's like, bro, it's like,
you can say what you want to say.
what happened in Color Purple? What advice did Whoopi Goldberg give to Harpo for Oprah Winfrey?
Beat him.
And then Harpo got beat up. And then, she came in there stomping through the fields. You told Harpo to beat me. You told Harpo to beat me. Well, I mean, sometimes that's what's necessary. Like, sometimes what's necessary, I know when I used to get in trouble, in the church, when I come in there, I had a lady telling me, beat him. So bad, but I just need one day with you. I'm a kid, I'm a kid, and it's like I got grown folks, one part of my hide. I was just rambunctious. I was a kid, okay? So, I mean, of course, man, we love T.I. and we love King, and we want King to get the help he needs. He's not a ghetto kid.
He's not.
So stop pretending to be that.
I agree. But I still believe that T.I. does have a point.
And what's the point? Adults should not be. Well,
no,
I think he's how old is King?
He does so much, and he does a lot for the community. He gives back. Shouldn't somebody comes to his defense as well? Like, we look at T.I. because he's this big guy, and he's this tough guy.
That's what I'm saying. How they going to come to his defense?
He's this tough guy that he can handle himself.
How are they going to come to his defense?
This is his son.
Like just people coming up like, nah, man, that's not T.I.'s not like that.
I think he wanted people to go viral coming to his defense. Because this morning he reposted somebody who was like, and I don't even know who this guy is, but it was like it had to be one of probably one of his contributors or one of
Okay.
his benefactors,
Right.
because it's like, oh man, T.I. mad, ain't nobody come, and I just was the recipient of a $10,000 grant.
Or
Let me
T.I.
come
just
in here
came and showed up to go ahead and do something for a community center or whatever.
Well, he
People
does that
ask.
all.
But
He
I'm
does
saying
that
that's where
all
he's
the
coming
time.
from.
He
People
does
ask
that
him
he
all
does
the
that
time.
all
All
the
people
time.
can do is call him and say, we're going to pray for you and your son. That's all that they can really do for him, because his son is doing. He can't even control what his son is doing.
Right,
can't
and he
control
already
it.
said, and remember,
I'm saying?
go back on the first video where I agree with Teddy that I saw. T.I. basically came on there after his son was arrested, basically saying he's done everything that I can do, and that it's unfortunate that he's on the
thinking
same
like this,
path
right.
that I was on, and hopefully he won't go exactly where I went, but nobody can know him better than his father knows him, and he was crying out for help, bro. He was crying out for help then, so don't turn around now and see this man is out there, picking on Hollywood Coles. And we know about Hollywood Coles. You know what I'm saying? The one that's outside with his shirt off.
Ready.
Who ready?
He ready.
You know what I'm saying? And Brother White seems to be ready. He's like, man, I'm not about to get in no fight. At a certain age, you're not trying to fight. If you was listening to Ricky Smiley this morning, they was saying fights in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Fights in your 70s, you end up having a heart attack. Fights in your 40, it's going to be quick. It's going to be one and done. Fights in your 50, if you swing and you miss, you're going to fall.
You're done.
You know what I mean? It's a certain time where you just give it up.
Right.
You give it up.
You don't need to go ahead and fight at a certain age.
At a certain age, you give it up.
I mean, at this
But it's
point,
something
the
you
guy,
don't kill.
people will sympathize more with White because of the fact that he's being threatened by King.
T.I.
And
Well,
T.I.
King,
he
right.
wasn't
Well,
King.
King first.
King said we're going to come beat him up.
Right. So at that
He
point,
said that you come back down here, you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
T.I. said, you come talk to me, and if you leave, you won.
right.
So what does that mean?
I mean,
T.I. says, you come talk to me, and if you leave,
we all
you
know
won.
what
That means you
happened.
won.
We all
That
know-
means that he going to throw up, he going to give him a fade.
Y'all,
But
y'all
he
remember?
said, I'm not going to hurt him. I'm not going to do nothing to him, blah, blah, blah. That's what he said.
If y'all can remember the little Flip T.I. beef, it didn't end good for T.I. T.I.'s a little man, all right? T.I. ain't going to win a lot of fights, brother. All right? He is not going to win a lot of
Right,
fights.
he challenged Mayweather.
You know what I'm saying? Well, they about the same size.
But Mayweather is a world-class professional
But that's what I'm
boxer, so
saying.
you play that if you want to.
T.I. ain't going to back down. T.I.'s like,
Right,
Trick.
he
He
not
ain't going
gonna
to back down.
But you got
The
him on there,
outcome.
Newkirk. You got something that he's saying. It may have
new
a few.
one, I
It
think.
may have some words on there that may be a little choice words. So we don't want to.
Be careful.
You gotta
I
be
don't know about
careful.
this one because I haven't listened to it. It's a new one. It's an hour ago. First off, man, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to all the people who've been reaching out and showing love, support, respect for my family. I appreciate that. It don't go unnoticed. Thank you to Steven Jackson. Thank you to Minister Farrakhan. Thank you to the entire Nation of Islam. Thank you to my sister Hannah, my brother Clay, my brother KP, my brother Bell. Thank you to director Deion Taylor. Thank you to Ronnie Jordan and the Ha Ha Mafia. Man, thank you to anybody like this. Like, bruh, so I'm being attacked by the enemy. And they using my weakness. You know what I'm saying? The weakness is social media. You know, somebody attack you on social media, it removes your ability to respond back to it because that only fans the flames and makes it, you know, but it is still an attack, okay? And this is not the first time that I've been attacked in this manner and couldn't say anything, couldn't do anything. And I just watched everybody sit and didn't say nothing. Thank you to Brother Kalanji. I reposted, you know, his comments. And so thank you Thank you to the Water Boys. I appreciate y'all. So the hurt don't come from the enemy. You expect the enemy to attack. The hurt don't come from the enemy. The words of the enemy don't hurt me. The silence of the people that I've supported for 20 years, when they ain't got nothing, the silence of the community, like the way the community, or to watch the community participate, laugh, like, share, and have nothing to say on behalf of a family that has been there to support whatever was right, whatever cause was just and righteous. For over 20 years, we've been there. And just to watch nobody had nothing to say for someone who ain't did nothing for nobody but shuck and jive, that's hurtful. It was hurtful. And I understand I'm a person who's strong, and I understand that I'm a leader, I understand that I'm a celebrity, I understand heavy.
Yeah, but I'm fine on that, bro. Yeah. I'm fine on that, but I don't get it. I don't get it, man. Help me understand it, because it's like, first of all, we don't want any harm to come from this. But anybody that's familiar with this guy, White, he's not a gangster. Like, that's what he does. He comes in there to be funny. To be funny. To be a shock jock. He's a shock jock. He's out there saying these things or whatever. You know, so to take it where he's taking it, and all of a sudden, to me, that sounds like you don't want to give, because when you give because it's the right thing to do, not because of what you're going to get back from it. So to say, hey, I stood up for these people, and I stood up for this cause, and now ain't nobody coming back for me, bro. Like, if you're looking for that, that's not what you do. You give from your heart. You do from your heart.
You do, but
man,
shouldn't somebody step up for you when you really do it for your heart?
To do what?
The only person that can go ahead.
What can they step up for to do what?
Just have your back.
I mean,
go ahead and have
but what?
The people.
In court?
The people.
Should they take out an ad? Should they do a
there's nothing.
We're talking about the people, though. We're talking about.
But there's nothing they could do.
All they have to do is just
their defense on and sharing and what.
No, it's not wrong with it. But it's about making sure that somebody's saying something.
Maybe his close friends are not the ones that should be on the internet. It should be the ones that call him every day or email him every day, or that he's in communication with every day. Like, we are observers of a celebrity, of a high-profile celebrity, and that we're going through and seeing what's going on in these celebrities' lives. We're not thinking that we can touch them or we need to come out there and support him. He's saying, like, whoever it was that he donated, whether it was the Boys Club, whether it was the United Way, whether it was the YMCA, or whoever it was, those are the people, you know, that he decided and his family decided to support. So guess what? Don't support them next year. Or maybe you just getting ready, like somebody that's getting, you know, Valentine's Day is coming up, Christmas is coming up, and they don't want to give nothing because they got too many chicks. And so they got to break up with their chicks before it's time to give. And so maybe they done already decided they not giving this year, and this was a great opportunity to come and be like, you know what, we not giving this year. This is, you know, they out here talking about our son King, and ain't nobody come to our defense. So now when they come asking, we're going to keep the same energy. Because that's what I got from it. That's what I got from it.
But you know he's not going to, because if he does honestly go ahead and do that, then everybody's going to be at his throat.
But you got to think the things
that he do. You can't do that to the
community.
The things but he said the community should have his back. The people should have his back the same way he has the community back.
So if he wanted the community, like, I'm going to tell you how you have somebody's back, especially somebody that doesn't even know how to be activated. And we got a guest coming on there, and I'm sure she'll be able to chime in on this, because we're talking about political activation. You know, you're talking about people that got their own issues, their own problems. When they go on their phone to look, that means they got a little bit of time that they can just scroll and just see what's going on. But when you're going through that phone, you're not looking to put the phone aside and then pull out your pen and write down these numbers to start call and go activate on behalf of him. We just talk about a dude just died in prison.
That's real.
We just talking about somebody just got his neck broke and folks laughing at him in prison.
For me, terrible. I saw the thing with Chris Wright twice in King this morning, And then I saw T.I., but I didn't listen to him. So I thought there was two separate situations because, number one, Chris White isn't a threat to anybody to even have to support.
Charleston White.
I mean, Charles White. He's not a threat. He ain't a murderer. He's not nobody that people should be worried about. So people know that what he's doing is just to make people pay attention. So they're doing what he wants, is share that, because that's what people do, because people are really looking at King like, T.I., this is your problem. You created this, so you need to deal with it.
And there's no way that King should be a problem for other citizens because he was not raised that way. He was not raised that way. They are not in need of that. He does not need to steal. He does not need to take something. He does not need to go in there. He does not need, if he chooses that life, it's a choice.
That's it.
Right. It's a choice. So by having somebody, put their finger down and say, man, this is the choice that he's making. And while we're on this law enforcement piece, before our guest comes on, shout out to Baltimore and Adnan Saeed. Adnan Saeed was serving 23 years out of a life sentence that was just, overturned. About a month ago, he was released on house arrest because new evidence was found. But they said once they cleared it, which the DNA came back, which excluded him as a potential killer of his girlfriend at the time, Miss Lee. And, so shout out to that. So Syed was convicted in 2000 for the killing of 18-year-old Hae Min Lee, his ex-girlfriend, whose body was found in Baltimore's Leakin Park the year before. Prosecutors said she died by strangulation. Now, there were other individuals who were suspects, one who actually threatened to kill her, and then another person who had a history, and for whatever reason, they just focused in on Adnan Saeed, and he's now out, and the district attorney, who herself is under indictment right now with taxes, Mosby, she has been making her rounds on that's her right there. That's district attorney Mosby. So she's been making her rounds, and she basically said, justice delayed is justice denied, is one of the quotes of Dr. King that she was saying. It was like, well, why not keep him in a little longer until you get all that? It was like, once this guy's been excluded as far as from the DNA, why keep this man in there a second longer? So they let him out, and and hopefully they will secure the killer and secure justice, for this family. And so another story, man, that is going on in law enforcement in San Antonio, bro. 17-year-old in McDonald's, gets shot up by the police, some days later. And the commissioner of police, said yesterday that they fired the former officer, a couple days later, and that by the end of this week, or hopefully by beginning of next week, formal charges, will be made. And the young man is still, experiencing. He's still in, he's not on life support, but he's, got a long way to go, and hopefully he recovers from it. But 17 years old, bro. Like, there's nothing that young man did, in terms of, you sitting there eating McDonald's, bro, and this dude opens the door, and next thing you know, he's shooting. But why does that typically only happen to us, man? We keep, beating a dead horse. But we got to keep beating this horse, just like in, I think we got to do like they did in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, the city council, the head of the city council, president of the city council, and 3 other Hispanic, individuals were all, they were all, they had a meeting yesterday, and like everybody was there. Like the community was outraged. And that's what you need to show, bro. You need to show that outrage. Saying that, how are you supposed to be serving us, and we hear you, for an hour talking about, oh, he's with the blacks, calling, the white councilman's adopted 8-year-old black son, calling him a monkey, and saying he's trying to be white. And these are Democrats. Like, these are Democrats out there. So that just goes to show, man, as I tell you guys, man, get off this party situation, get out of this party thing, and get on with the get on. So we got our guest right here. So Teddy T, do the honors, brother.
All right. Today, gracing us is Pam Beasley Pittman. She's running for the city of Fort Lauderdale Commissioner in District 3.
PBP.
And we're asking that she come on in through the camera, let us see her beautiful face, and let us know what's going on. Are you there with us, sweetie? Are you there?
Good afternoon. I am here. I hope you can hear me.
We can.
Yeah.
Are you able to?
Yeah, we want to be able to see you, though. Can you turn on the camera?
That's what I've been trying to do. And for some reason, it says Zoom is unable to detect my camera. Hold on one second here for me. Okay.
Detectable situations right here.
Yes.
And Strong Arm Radio.
Let's see if we can try it this way. I have my let's see. There we go.
Hey, there she is. I want my shirt.
Okay, we can definitely make that happen, okay?
PBP.
Ooh.
What it do? In the house.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are you all doing today?
Excellent to you. Welcome to Ask Mathis. So tell us about what you're running for and what's your platform.
Okay. Hello, I am Pam Beasley Pittman. I'm running for the city of Fort Lauderdale District 3 Commission seat. That's it, Fort Lauderdale. The 33311 and 33312 are the areas that I represent under District 3. To tell you who I am the daughter of the Reverend James E. Beasley and Ella Mae Beasley Benefield. I am also the homeowners president of historic Dorsey River Bend. I am a 32-year employee with the Broward County Sheriff Office, retired. I retired about 5 years ago. Also, I am married 32 years to I'm going to say high school sweetheart, but he actually told me he was going to marry me the first day of 6th grade. So if I can say middle school sweetheart, we've been together since that long. We've been married for 32 years and we have 3 adult children. As well, I am a minister and a licensed chaplain. I am the visionary, the CEO and founder of Unified Central Broward Neighborhood Alliance, and that is a nonprofit agency that's unifying urban neighborhoods to come together to fight on one accord, to reach those get resolves for those issues that are affecting the urban communities. My platform, I am running in order to continue to work to bring attention to affordable housing, bringing relationship between law enforcement and community, and also as well as bringing opportunities to the community to understand what's going on with our cemeteries. We are in a crisis with our cemeteries where in 2025 in the city of Fort Lauderdale, one of the most popular cemetery in our community will be at its capacity. So working already through the cemetery board that I'm a part of to make sure that there is rest place for our loved ones. So that's sort of it in a nutshell, but we got a lot that we could talk about as far as what I want to see develop in our community. So that's just a little nutshell.
So was there an epiphany? Was there a moment that you had where you just decided that I want to get involved, or had you always been involved and this is just a natural progression?
It's a combination. I've always been that person who wanted to help, putting my hands to work to whatever needed to what needed work to it. Just thinking back to when my children were in daycare in the school that they attended, I was the president for the PTA. So I've always been the one that was jumping in where I saw there was a need. But far as the epiphany, far as this opportunity with the city, it goes back about maybe 12 years. I've been trying to pinpoint it down, but um, I was at a homegoing service in North Florida. And this beautiful young lady came up and they identified her as the city commissioner. And she read the proclamation in honor of the deceased. And I was sitting there and I distinctly heard the Lord's voice say to me, "Oh, you will do that." And I laughed. I laughed because I was like, God, I ain't about to be a city commissioner. But I laughed at it. And moving forward, becoming the homeowners president of historic Dorsey Riverbend here in the city of Fort Lauderdale, um, working and hearing the voices and recognizing the things that need to be addressed in our community, it began to open doors and more opportunity for me to be a stronger voice for the community. So it all came together like a 12 to 15 year run.
And what is it about city of Fort Lauderdale that you find to be unique from other cities in South Florida?
Well, one thing, I have to tell you that I'm born and raised city Fort Lauderdale, born here, been here for 57 years. I've watched as a young person the things that, as a younger person, knowing what I thought should be done back then and what needs to be accomplished now. Um, with that in mind, understanding when we look at the other cities, the city of Fort Lauderdale, with our culture, as far as the urban community, the community of District 3, which is the minority community. When we look at other cities around, I would say in the county, we're starting to witness other cities that are becoming more where they're harmonizing, where they're working together to get things accomplished. The community itself, the people who are our color, they're coming together to work together to achieve things. And what I'm working to do is to be a voice on the platform to make sure that our district receives that representation. The city of Fort Lauderdale, this district where um, the Six Trunk Corridor is the heart of our city. Um, I usually say it's breaking ground, starting ground for the minorities from the creation of this city. If you would say the city is like 111 years old now, but this is where we made home, this northwest section. Our banks were here, our movie theaters, dry cleaners, our churches, everything was here. Our doctors, Dr. Six Trunk, if you heard of
Yeah,
him, he
Sis
birthed
Trunk, Mizell, all those.
Mizell's, all of those. They made ground groundbreaking opportunities for this community. And and when things begin to change, far as integration, people begin to move out of the community, and also some things that transpired strategically changed the opportunity for economic growth to continue. But being far as what I want to see and what I'm working with community to do is bring the pride back to the community. The city commission, yes, it has its mission. The goal is we're working to meet those issues of the community. We're talking about infrastructure. You're talking about budgets. You're talking about economics. But all of that, yes. But when do we address community and bring it back to pride and restore the legacy, what is the pride of this Six Trunk Corridor and District 3 overall?
That's what's up, Teddy.
No, I think it's the fact that you've grown up and been able to see throughout the generations of when it was good and when it became bad. I was just telling Newkirk, I remember when Ivory's was black owned, and when the Arabs came in and bought it, but they kept the restaurant part on 6th Street. They kept the restaurant part but sold that. And I was like, there was a lot of different corner stores and that was owned by black people. during that time, and
Yes.
and then they sold it all. And it was, I mean, we was boycotting. We was going like, we ain't finna buy nothing from y'all. We was like out
Yes.
there, because
Yes.
it was like, dang, y'all black owned, keep it in the hood. When these people come
Mhm.
in, it's gonna go a whole nother way. So it's good to see, when I walked into Smitty's and saw y'all over there, I was like, oh, this is something good. We want to be able to bring to the people here on Ask Mathis for,
Thank
to
you.
get your word out and to see,
Mhm.
I love to see black women in charge. I think there needs to be more black women in politics. I think things will get balanced out a little bit.
Well, that's the goal. With this election, um, I'm claiming this seat. I believe it is mine, and with it will be held by. It'll be the first time a Black female has held a position in District 3. So this is a historic and groundbreaking opportunity, and it's just timing. Timing is everything, and um, wasn't really, like I said, wasn't really thinking about this as a child coming through, but been a person who's always advocated for what is fair and what is right. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I have a passion for the district. There's so much possibility here. And to me, working with others who want to see it continue to grow, it can come contagious. And my vision is to make the district so unique and unified that the other districts are going to have to stand up and take notice as to what's going on in the district.
So this
So,
district
yes,
District 3, is it the demographics, is it predominantly seniors, is it young children, is it single families, apartment homeowners, like
it
what is this
is.
district comprised of?
It comprise it. The district itself, it spans from the overall district. It covers all of that what you just said, but it's minorities. But I would say, um, well, I don't want to answer that question and answer it wrong, because the numbers that I have are more close to the six trunk quarter, because that's what I had a lot of my data for. But we do have, the minorities of the Black community, the people of color. We here you have African Americans, you have the Haitian community, we have Caribbean. So we also have Hispanics that are living in this district as well. We do have many communities that are home ownership. And then we have those communities, those areas that desire to become homeowners. So the numbers, it is I don't want to use the word hodgepodge, but we are a great melting pot of what needs, who has a need that needs to be
And
addressed.
what are the schools in District 3?
The schools in District 3, we have North Fork Elementary, we have Walker Elementary, we also have Dillard High School,
Oh
we
no, we
have
up to Dillard
we
needs
have
no funding. We're not funding Dillard at all. At all.
what was that did you say about
No
Dillard?
funding for Dillard. So District 3, that's what Dillard is. No funding.
Yes,
None.
they are in District 3. Also, we have Riverland Middle School, we have um Bennett Elementary, um we have Lauderdale Manors Elementary, Sunland. We have, the schools are here. And unfortunately, the first two that I named, Walker and North Fork, we're trying to rally together to get more participation, to make it more of a community input and activity to help the school flourish in the ways that it need to. But right now, both of those schools are under par. They're actually coming in as F schools.
Mm.
So there's a lot of tension going on, and we're trying to um, connect with the community, bring in where we have retirees who have been here, to get them to volunteer, to
Right.
get them to come in, be a part of Reading Pal. Even there's some discussions of how we could help make sure these young people get to school, because Norfolk have an issue where the children are not coming to school.
Mm-hmm.
So those are things that
Elementary
we are aware.
kids?
Mm-hmm.
Elementary school, they're not
And those are the
turning
two. Those
the
are the two oldest schools in the area,
Mhm.
right? In the city.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Is that are
And
them 15th Avenue schools?
Yep.
yeah, they're on
Yep.
15th Avenue and on
Yep.
4th Street.
Man, 15th
And
Avenue is
mhm,
Mm-hmm.
notorious right
Mm-hmm.
yes,
now. I mean,
yes.
well, historically, 15th Ave is
In Dade and Broward.
in Dade. That's interesting because in Dade and Broward, 15th
15th
Ave
Avenue.
Well,
is
15th Ave here in Broward and Fort Lauderdale, we have had some opportunities to bring a change to the area because 15th Avenue run directly through historic Dorsey River Bend
Mm-hmm.
community.
Mm-hmm.
And we have, crime has gone down in the area. We
okay.
have also, the street itself, we're paying more attention to actually what the avenue looks like.
The
We're
circles.
concerned about just the landscaping, the upkeep,
Mm-hmm.
and these are things that we are very mindful of because it is, in a sense, a artery that goes from Sixth Trunk to Broward Boulevard,
Yeah.
and many people still utilizes it.
Mm-hmm.
And when they come through, we want it to represent a positive side of the community. We do have a tree canopy, which is beautiful, and I'm like, okay, we worked on that some years back, and it's taken place. The trees have actually reached maturity where we have that tree canopy. So I don't want to put it out there that 15th Street is
15th
notorious
Ave is back.
still.
Yeah. But my thing was before. Now that was always the getaway run from 6th Street to Broward to 95.
You're right. You're right.
So
And
then they put the circles in.
the
So,
roundabouts,
so then
yes.
you couldn't just run through. But then they took them out.
Yeah, there was an issue with the roundabouts, and unfortunately, um, engineering, they were not correctly, the sizing was incorrect for the roadway. And what we were experiencing at 4th Street and 15th Avenue, the homes that were on that four corners, when people would come through, there was an accident. The cars that were parked on the side, they were continuously having hit and run accidents.
Mm-hmm.
So for that reason, and also for the safety of the people, it was decided that those roundabouts would be taken up. But there will be a discussion about how we can have them replaced and put in correctly with the right what word I'm trying to use.
With the correct measurements and
There you go.
right.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't
Dimensions. Dimension is the word I'm looking for.
I don't understand how they even messed that up. Like these, I loved it. Like I was like, wow, you got to actually take the circle around, so you you got to go a certain speed because before you would just run through there. Like
exactly,
it was dangerous. You know what I mean? And it's a place where the kids are right out there in the street and everything. It was lucky there was not a lot. But when they came out, it was like perfect, and I was like, damn, the criminals must have got the word out. They must have lobbied.
They must have lobbied.
All the drug dealers got together. It was like, yo, we can't get
Put
away.
together a political action committee.
Well, we can't give them the credit for that. It was due to we can't give them the credit for that.
No, but we
it
definitely giving you credit because just being knowledgeable of that, like that wasn't something that we prepped you on, but you were knowledgeable of that. So I definitely take note of that, and we wish you the best of luck. So how can people contribute to your campaign, and how can they follow you and get more information?
My website, they can go to PamBeasleyPittman.com. Once again, that's PamBeasleyPittman.com. And you can find ways to donate, volunteer, ask me questions. The website is very user-friendly. I'm really excited about it. The group that Beyond Reveal, they put it together for me, and they did an amazing job. It's very easy to follow. Facebook, elect Pam Beasley Pittman, and I'm learning about Instagram. Elect Pam Beasley Pittman is the same handle, so we're on that as well. So those are the avenues that I can be reached. And also, I am approachable. I have no problem. I'm going to put my phone number out there because that's the person who I am. I can be reached at 954-445-0244, 954-445-0244.
And when is election day?
November 8th. We're asking everybody to, if you haven't done so already, inquire, reach out to Broward Supervisor of Election and get a mail-in ballot. You know, that is an easy process now, and you vote, you get it in the mail, you make your ballot choice and you put it back, and then they'll track it and show you that your vote has been counted. Also, October 24th starts early voting in our county. There are, I believe it said 24 locations, if I'm not incorrect. And then also, you could vote day of, which is November 8th at your precinct.
That's what it is, man. We got PBP.
That's
You
it.
know,
That's it.
PBP.
Pam Beasley Pittman.
Pam
Yes.
Beasley Pittman. Y'all
Yes.
make sure we vote for you. Thank you for
Yes.
coming on to Ask Mathis. We're going to rebroadcast this on Sunday on Video Mix at 11 a.m. I know you're going to be in church, but Teddy T will send you over this broadcast so you can.
I appreciate it. Thank you for this opportunity to both of you. Yeah. And this is amazing work that you're doing. Continue to be that awareness and connection for our communities all over. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. And we'll do a little stocking stuffer from Ask Mathis in support of your campaign. Appreciate you coming on.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you all and have a blessed day. Thank you.
Take care now.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, man. Teddy T, I appreciate you for bringing her on, man. You know, bringing folks from Lauderdale, and it seems like everybody you bring from Lauderdale got a Dillard connection, man. And what are you trying to do, man?
He got beef with you.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
It's not that, but you got to realize Fort Lauderdale, Dillard is the city of Fort Lauderdale. You know what I mean? You don't get people from Fort Lauderdale High or Stranningham.
Piper.
That's in the county. That's out. That's out. You know, this the
right,
city.
Man, I get nervous.
I'm from Board Anderson. I'm from Board Anderson. You know what I'm saying?
And Teddy already know we didn't even know each other, but he knew me. He sat there and watched. You know, my homies get jumped.
Yeah, I did.
It ain't say nothing.
Well, no, I triggered it because they came in.
Even worse,
I was the one that got the goon squad together. Because they came down, like I'm a person they came down the main hall, and the guy was wearing, and then like he telling me now, but the dude was wearing Ted Dillard's jacket. We thought I thought it was Ted Dillard.
That was Corey. That was his cousin. That was his first cousin, Corey.
You know, that was just disrespect. I said, Ted Dillard came walking down the main hall. What are we gonna do? They was like,
that's what it is. Before we get up out of here,
I heard some stories. I'm not even from here. I heard some stories about the dark hallways.
Hey,
it was a dark hallway at every school.
Bruh,
the dark hallways.
Can we talk about my good friend Coach Stormy Wellington? I sent you a video. I saw you had it up there earlier, and you know it's going viral, but I wanted you to actually see it. I sent you her IG. It was on IG, and I sent you two videos. The first one, you'll see two ladies eating a plate of food. That's the Stormy Wellington video that goes viral, and then after that, you'll see Young Miami, Carisha, mocking. Stormies, and and what comes from that is high vibrations. So, that's the response. So you need the one. That's the response to the one to Stormy. Yeah, that's it. So can you play this? Can we get volume?
I'm trying to move it over.
Okay.
So the people can see it.
Yeah, man. So, So.
But while we're doing that, Stormy is a inspirational coach.
She's a life coach. And she does a lot of good things, and she comes out of that industry, from back in the day, network marketing, with those teas, like my brother Ball Greasy says, you drinking them teas. Mm-hmm. Well, let's just say probably, I would say 70-75% of the young ladies that
TLC.
You saw with the teas, the NutriBurst and all that was part of TLC, which is Stormy's company. And, she's empowered and made a lot of money for a lot of people. Yep. And so what she does is she puts on these networkers, she puts on these seminars, you know, and at these seminars, which she just had one, and so the one that you had on there before was you know, one of her called The Awakening, one of her awakenings. And I think that one was one in Orlando. I actually went to one in Texas, you know, so I could see it for myself. And I went out there, bro, and the women are highly motivated, and they doing well. It's like a pep rally. It's like a 3-day pep rally. They have, you know, different themed days and nights, and they bring in different motivational speakers, you know, to get people, you know, motivated about their lives, about, you know, making money and doing well and getting out of their situation. So, so there's
They get a lot from it.
I definitely like the products. The products was good. I made a couple dollars selling the products. And I like the different the tea, the capsules that you can have, the coffee. It was like a lot of good stuff, and it helps you out. It clears you out, and you exercise with it at the same time. And you know, that's the thing. Like it really boomed during COVID. When we had COVID, that's when it really, because people had a chance to actually stop and work out and do things, and they saw the difference, and it just took off from there. Even Diva, she kidnapped Diva last year for like 3 months. Diva was with her over there. We had to bring Diva back. You know?
So in response, I think you can play the Young Miami's one. So
I'm about to get it. I'm about to get her up first.
okay. Well, here's Stormy's right here.
Stormy.
So as you can see, it's, you know, it's a plate of food, and I guess what people took issue with is that they.
Oh my God! I deserve better than that. That's low vibration, and you took it. I would have been like, I'm playing like that. I tell you what I want. You don't tell me what I want. So my thought process is, if you put it on my plate, but I don't have to eat it, I got the discipline. I won't even look at it. That make me look bad. I'm a queen. Queen's plate can be like. If we used to have two plates, we play together. I said, who's royalty? They would say this person. I agree. That's a good rap. This is serious stuff. Yeah, because there's a lot of people that just let people give them what they want them to have, and they accept it. And Storm is teaching me right now. Yeah. Coach Storm is teaching me, don't accept what they put on your plate. You couldn't have paid me if they put this on my plate. I will not let. No, I don't do what they do. I do
All right,
what
now show the Young Miami.
I seen Young
But
Miami.
she would never
It just
eat
didn't
a
make
plate
sense.
that
Now
look like
it
this.
now it makes sense. So we'll talk about it.
I deserve better than that. That's low
Now it
vibration.
makes sense, because I couldn't.
I would have been like, I'm playing like
But I understood what she was saying.
I tell you what I want.
Because the way his plate looked compared to her plate, she was
Right.
like,
So you know, with the internet, which is undefeated, you know, once the internet catches it, they turn it into what they want to turn it into, and so you see, this is Young Miami mocking.
I do. I would never eat a plate that look like that.
You see
That
the
is
plates
low
look
vibrations.
identical.
That's a good red plate. This royalty. You put these two plates together, they gonna say this royalty.
You're right.
I wouldn't do that to myself. I wouldn't let them do that to me.
And what my coach is telling me right now is not to let everybody put what they want on my plate.
Okay, so it's a couple things. There's a couple things that, you know, as far as it going viral, when people on the outside looking in, they basically like, well, they got the same plate of food, right? And then she's saying that this is a queen's plate, and she's licking her fingers, and they like, queens don't lick their fingers, so that's why you have Young Miami licking her fingers, and then they take it, you know, they embellish it, because the plate that Stormy had and the young lady had was different. Stormy she didn't have what they had, but the internet basically said they plates was the same, but they weren't. Like, I don't recall Stormy having bread, you know, on her.
But the one burger was flipped upside down on the sister's plate. It was flipped.
She had a burger and a hot dog.
Upside. Look at let's see if I can get back to it, man.
Yeah.
She had. I'm gonna put you over real quick.
Yeah, that was low. That was a low vibration plate.
I agree.
But it was food that was served from her event.
Good people.
No, from her event.
Oh,
from
from her-
Stormy's
yeah.
event. Like,
That
this
was
is
Stormy's
this is
event.
Stormy's event. So this is her caterer.
this is what she gave the people.
This is what she gave. This is
Oh, damn, you
and
can't
she's
do
eating
that.
something different. And she's eating something different. So,
Wow.
You know.
And then they gotta licking her fingers, and they like,
I didn't know that she
the
was
queen
licking
the
her
queen not gonna be licking her fingers, you know. And she's like, if you look at your plate, look at mine. Who they gonna say is the queen? Who they gonna
plate.
Right? Stormy has no bread on her plate,
Right.
so she has an Atkins friendly plate,
Right.
and a young lady does not have an Atkins friendly plate.
Right.
But they say got the same corn.
Mm-hmm.
Stormy has shrimp.
She got
chicken.
She got a hot dog.
And a
pork and
hamburger.
beans. It looked like some pork and beans on that plate.
But that's at a barbecue.
She got a potato salad on
She
there.
got a barbecue plate.
Listen, Stormy only has 2 small pieces of chicken wings, 1 little small shrimp. The 3 of them actually. She ate 2 of them, and a
piece of corn.
and a small piece of corn. That sister was like, man, I paid all this money for this
Right.
joint. I'm
Right.
gonna get my money's worth.
Yeah. So I mean, there
don't
you
knock
go.
her.
There you go. And there you have an example of young Miami, who I think is really, really coming into her own. Like, nobody's confusing her with being Nicki Minaj or MC Light, you know, one of the great MCs. But I think she's becoming one of the great personalities. I think, as you can see, you know, she's looking magnificent. She's looking awesome. And I really love the confidence that she's displaying, you know, in terms of coming into her own. And she doesn't seem to be listening to what people have to say. It was like, well, JT write all the rhymes and doing that. Well, I don't even know if JT writing all the rhymes now, because once you get, you know, as we say, Teddy, once you make it into the league, what you did to get into the league, you're going to not have people say, oh, that's cute.
Right.
Well, no, but we got you. Like, you want a hit or you want this. Right. People going to say, I want that hit. And if that means, you know, Lil Yachty, because, you know, Lil Yachty is the one who wrote Act Up. That, you know,
that's the biggest.
Yeah,
Really?
Lil Yachty.
Yeah.
Lil Yachty wrote Act Up.
I mean, Lil Yachty helped them. Like, when you watch the series Rap,
Which I haven't seen
you
yet.
know,
What is that
My
on?
wife got me watching.
What is that on?
HBO Max. It's over with now, but they got a second season.
But can't you just go binge watch it? Can I just go on there and
Max,
get it?
HBO Max. But when you watch the character that actually plays Young Miami, she's very strong on the internet. She started off by being a militant rapper. And it was even one time when they was doing a show together, she just busted out with a militant freestyle. And
that sounds like CB4.
Right.
Alan Payne's character.
Right. Yeah. That's how she was.
I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all.
She was wearing an afro. She used to wear an afro. She was the same kind of similarity. And it was like JT was the one, girl, we got to talk about the money and da-da-da-da. Like, so JT started that. And then it was to the point where you see them, like, the internet was very big in their development. And when I watch I follow Young Miami, and it still is.
Yeah, I follow Young Miami too. Like, she has the right, you know, because now you can see, you know, you want to see cleavage, you want to see booty, you want to see that. Like, there's everything for you on the internet. To the point, and that's a good thing, because if you know what I mean, you see something enough, it gets you, like, you know, where you don't have to see that. I like to see that, but I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to just see that. Like, I want to see what you have to say. And right now, I'm intrigued by Young Miami. I'm feeling her. I don't even follow JT.
I do.
But I follow Young Miami.
I follow JT, but JT just takes pictures. Like, when they did Carisha Please, you know, there was like, you know, JT's not the person. Like, they're like, don't you feel a certain way that Young Miami's getting all this pub? She was like, no. You know, like, JT's a real Miami girl. She
just got out of prison.
Right, but she's just down home. Like, she's not into the hype.
She is what she is.
You know what
and
I mean?
she knows her life has been changed. Like, the life, you know what I'm saying?
Doesn't take it for granted.
And you have to appreciate how Young Miami held it down while she was locked up. Because you had a lot of people just, like, stepping to her all the time, like, doing this or whatever.
And she was like, she said she was appreciative that everything was City Girls. It wasn't just Young Miami. The feature was the City Girls.
She kept it that way.
Girls.
She kept it, yeah. So shout out to both of them. I hope they get everything they deserve. Shout out to QC for holding them down. And shout out to you, Teddy T, for bringing the guests. You, DJ Newkirk, man, for doing what you do. I appreciate all of us, man. And, you know, You got time for that Future thing, bro? You can play that Future on the way out. Yeah, because it's just a second. This is at the Denver Broncos game, man, and that just shows that the Las Vegas Raiders were trolling the Broncos. So go ahead and play it. See what they was playing at the game while Wilson is warming up. So you see your man Wilson out there. That's his name, right? Mm-hmm. Russell Wilson out there warming up. On the
and they
field.
play Future?
And they playing the Future. And they basically saying he already had her. They trolling him, man. So that just
But
give
that
y'all.
happens often, though.
Well,
I'm sure you're going to hear some Future music.
Well, I mean,
every-
nowadays you really gonna get it now because the internet is undefeated and now everything is integrated. Everybody trying to get their likes up. Everybody getting their social media. Everybody's like, well, I got to do that now because that's what it is.
Yeah. Yo, big shout out
Don't forget Kanye.
this Friday. It's my birthday, and the City Girls will be here in town. I'm going to the show. Fatboy Rama and Young Miami's gonna kiss me right on the cheek. Boom. Either in my dream or for real.
Brandy did that to me, but she get it on my forehead when I was young.
No, it might kiss me on my forehead. That's sun in it. That's when you get sunned.
That's what it is. That's what it is,
And
man.
happy birthday to MC Light. She's 52 years old. She's a 70s baby like all of us. Me and Mathis, the 70s kid. Rule!
Y'all.
When you say you love me, it doesn't matter. It goes into my head as just chit chatter. You may think it's a